Welcome to the Upside podcast, where we help you get unstuck by elevating your thinking and provoking meaningful change from the inside out. I'm your host, Theresa Flood, and today we're going to focus, people. Yes, that is the topic of today's episode is focus. And I have been told from my Keller Williams Market Center that I say focus, people, quite regularly. So focus, I think, is one of those things that nobody thinks they can do. Nobody thinks they're good at. Most people struggle with feeling like they can focus on anything, much less the right things. And so today we are all about what is the most important thing that we need to be focusing on. So at its core, focus brings clarity. Much of the time we have confusion around situations, confusion around our activities, around our results, because we do not have a clear focus. So focus is just like your eyes adjusting a lens. So think about your vision. When your eyes are out of focus, everything is fuzzy, it's distracting, and it's overwhelming. You can't distinguish what's important from the background noise. You move slower, you hesitate, and you misjudge things. So years ago, Tommy was actually out of town, unfortunately, and I had woken up early in the morning and it was dawn. And so it was not fully bright out yet, but it was light in the room. And I have a pretty high prescription. I think I'm about a -3.5 on my contacts and glasses. And so I'm pretty blind without my eyes in. And so I had woken up, I'm groggy, and I look down at the floor and I see something on the floor, this black kind of blob. And again, it's all fuzzy. And I thought, oh, what did the dogs get into? And so half asleep, I reach down to pick up this black fuzzy thing. And I'm thinking it's like yarn or thread or something. And I reach down and I grab it. And friends, it was a tarantula, a huge black spider, nasty. I manhandled death in that moment. Tommy was out of town, so I had to deal with it myself. Anyways, when we do not have focus, we don't have clarity and bad things happen. So when we focus, though, things become clear, details emerge, we know where to go, we know what to do next. That's exactly what mental focus does for us as well. When our attention is scattered, we feel foggy, we feel emotionally reactive. It's hard to prioritize, it's hard to make decisions. We are really stuck in a place of confusion. But when our mind is focused, we get clarity on what really matters. We become more effective with less effort, and we create momentum instead of mental friction. So focus is a beautiful thing because it filters out all of the noise. We live in a society that is coming at us constantly with 1,000 things. It is very noisy. We have nonstop information, distraction, and pressure, and focus becomes that internal filter to keep us and our attention on what matters the most. So the question comes down to, what is it that we need to focus on? And we could talk for hours on the different things that are important to focus on, but I want to give you one model that is going to help you if you are feeling confused, if you are feeling overwhelmed, if you are feeling stressed about a situation or something in your life. I want to give this to you as a model to help you sort through all of that noise. And that is distinguishing the difference between the things that you can't control and the things that you can control. And if we can learn to focus on the things that we can control, stress, overwhelm, anxiety, worry, confusion, all of that will dissipate. So let's talk for just a moment about what are the things that we can't control. Because guys, this list is long, the things that we cannot control. So first thing, you cannot control other people's opinions of you. You can influence them. You cannot control their perceptions. And when we let go of the need to control that, so much anxiety and stress will start to go away. So we cannot control other people's opinions of us. We can't control other people's decisions or actions. As a matter of fact, when it comes to other people, just realize that's one of those things that will always end up in the part that we cannot control. Pretty much anything that has to do with other human beings, we cannot control. We cannot control the past. What's done is done. It's in the books, friends. We cannot control that. Learning is useful, but regret is not. We cannot control the past. We cannot control the outcome of our efforts. So while we can control our activities that lead to the results, we can't always control the actual result. And this can be incredibly frustrating. This is a very hard thing in business because we do the activities, we run the strategy, we run the plays, and sometimes the results don't happen as we anticipate they should. So the outcome of our efforts is sometimes out of our control. The other thing we can't control is the market or the economy. In real estate, the market has a big influence on how we do business. It doesn't, but we can't control it. We cannot control interest rates. We can't control economic conditions. All of that is outside of our hands. Inflation, housing inventory, motivations of buyers and sellers, all of those things are out of our control. And so many times we think that our success is dependent on those things. We cannot control timing. And this is a hard one because we can prepare and we can act, but sometimes things are going to take longer than we expect. We can't always control the timing of those results. We can't control unexpected circumstances. So sometimes illness happens, emergencies, personal loss, global events, all of those things are out of our control. Our future, we can plan for our future. I believe that is in the hands of the Lord. That is out of our control. Traffic, can't control that. The weather, can't control that. Delays, technology glitches, dear Lord, cannot control that. I probably control that less than even the average person. But all of those things are things that we cannot control. And when we put our time and our energies into focusing on those things that we can't control, it robs us of all of the energy that we need to be putting on things that we do control. So what do we control? Well, we control our mindset. We control our response to things. We don't control what happens to us. We do control how we react. We control how we respond. We control our schedule and how we manage our time, how we manage ourselves in regards to our time, what we choose to do. We manage our energy. We manage our habits, or we control our habits. We control how well we prepare. We don't always control the outcome, let's say, of an appointment. We do control how we prepare going into that appointment. We do control if we're ready to handle the objections. We do control the skill that we bring to the table, our knowledge of the market, our understanding of the economic conditions. We control who we surround ourselves with. We control the voices that we listen to. We can control what we consume, whether that is the media, news, what podcasts we're listening to, what books we're reading, how much social media we're consuming. We control the food that we eat. We control what we drink. We control our faith, our intention, and our perspective. So there is much that we do control, and there is even a greater list of what we don't control. I do this exercise with my daughters who are 13 years old, Jillian and Jet, and when they are struggling with something at school or in basketball or in theater, and they're feeling stress or anxiety, we say, okay, let's make a list. Let's talk about all of the things in this situation that we don't control. And most of the time, the anxiety is all wrapped up in things that we don't control. And then after we get that list out, we say, okay, let's talk about all the things that we do control. We control our attitude. We control the next step that we make. We control what we decide, how we decide to show up tomorrow, how we choose to respond to this, what we're going to say to somebody else. All of those things are within our control. And when we decide to focus not on the things that are out of our control, but things that are within our control, we take our power back. It puts us in the driver's seat. We go from being a victim to going to being empowered with the choices that we make. It gets us into the right kind of action that's then going to bring results. Because the list of what we control is usually shorter, it causes us to be able to focus on the one or two most important things. And when we get into action, action reduces anxiety. It reduces fear. It takes all of the guesswork out of it. And when we get into action, we start increasing our confidence. So I just want to encourage you today, if you have a situation that's hanging over your head, I had one a few weeks ago in my office that was causing me a lot of stress and anxiety. And I did that very activity. I said, what in this can't I control? And my stress was wrapped up in things I couldn't control. And then I put my focus and my energy and my attention on the things that I can control. And so I'm going to encourage you to do the same thing. Whatever situation is causing you stress, overwhelm, or confusion, focus on what you can control, take your power back, and you're going to get clarity, energy, and amazing focus. So thank you for joining me today on The Upside. And if you have not gone to theresaflood.com, please go to my website and register to be a subscriber, to be an Upsider. One of the things that I do is send out a training guide every single week based on the episode that you can take and turn around and use to coach your team, your staff, your organization, people that you lead. We're all looking sometimes for content to be able to invest back into the people that we lead. And so these training guides are made so that you can take them or just use them for yourself to go deeper into the material. And again, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week on The Upside.